A cave
No, he
of
did.
cold
It's
metal
just,
with
well,
hot
he didn't because there was no one else streaming, so, or no one else in the booth, so.
Gotcha.
Make sure everybody talk for a second.
Testing.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Slide
Alright,
is
I
a
hear
great
you.
person.
Wow.
Slide paid me to say that.
Alright, Rowdy, did you include yours? Because I can't hear you yet.
Can't hear Rowdy.
Yeah, include it and uninclude it.
Did you get mine? Is mine working?
Yeah, I got you.
Alright.
Well, I had him muted for some reason. I don't know. For some reason, you were muted, Rowdy. So
that's why, idiot.
Jackass.
There we go. We got him now.
It was probably that you. I think it was the owner's thing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. All right, I can hear everybody. We're good.
We're good?
Yep.
All right.
You want to start it or should I?
All right. So it's the 22 and the 12, right?
Correct.
Okay. You can start it. We're starting at 8:30, or do you want to start right now?
No, we could use this stream. That's fine. I don't want to have to redo it again.
Okay, it's fine.
All right, everybody, welcome back to NASCAR Heat 5 Pro Series Race Hub. I am your host, Mr. Slidejob1996, and with me, your weekly commentator, Inferno Speed. How you doing?
What's up?
And tonight,
nothing to complain about. Sixers suck. That's about it.
Yeah, that's a rough day to be a Philly fan. But anyways, the topic at hand we have tonight, our second group of drivers, the boys from Team Penske are here. We have SeanForLife and RC Rowdy. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
I'm doing great, man. Appreciate you doing this and having us on.
No problem. We're glad to have you. Glad you could take the time from your busy schedules to talk to us after all of the racing action on Saturdays. So, yeah, let's just jump right into this. So, the first segment we like to do is to get a little bit more info about the drivers so that those that aren't familiar with you guys can get to know you a little better, or maybe even your fans or teammates or even people that do know you could learn something new. So why don't we start out with you, Sean? So
Sure.
Where are you from?
So I live in Connecticut. I've been here since I was about 7 years old. I've been New England born and raised my whole life. Been watching NASCAR, I'd say, since I was about 7 years old. Grew up a Mark Martin fan, and then as older drivers started retiring, once he retired, I rooted for Gordon, then Junior and Stewart, and now kind of in like a holding pattern. Don't really have like a favorite driver. I do sell cars. I work at a Buick GMC store here in Connecticut, and I pretty much now root for anybody that drives a Chevrolet.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Larson.
Coming from Connecticut, I'm surprised you're not a Ryan Preece fan. I know he's
I mean, I like Ryan.
Hero.
I've been like 10 feet from him. He did a race up at Stafford Speedway a couple years ago. He was running a modified, and I got close to him, tried to get his attention, but he didn't pay any attention to me. But that's all right. I won't hold it against him. But no, he seems like a cool dude. He's from Connecticut. I just found out Anthony Alfredo is from Connecticut, and I like the pasta dish Alfredo, so he might be a driver.
Met him.
He seems like a cool dude. I mean, if your name's Alfredo, you can't be a bad guy. So,
yeah, you really can't.
And then Logano, right. Of course. I've met Joey Logano when I was like 12. I met him at a meet and greet, which was really cool. So, Connecticut's actually got a few good race car drivers. Parker Kligerman's from Connecticut too, so
Yeah, a lot of flat
Connecticut,
track guys too.
yeah, a lot
Road
of short.
courses and flat track guys.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. Actually, Connecticut's really got. I think in the Northeast they got three of the best short tracks in the whole country. You got Stafford, you've got Thompson Speedway, and you've got Waterford Speedway. So you got a few great short tracks here in the Northeast too that have produced a lot of great drivers that have raced in the Cup Series and uh, lower divisions of NASCAR as well.
that's true. It's not a surprise why like series like SRX come up here and run. And actually, you missed one. We also have Lime Rock,
Lime
which
Rock, yeah, that's more of a road course, right?
the
Right,
new or old um, All-Star Race to Champions is going to be
right.
back this year. So yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
great racing in the New England area, and no surprise, another good racer or e-racer to come out of Connecticut. So nice. And well, how about your partner in crime here, Rowdy? How about you?
Yeah, man. I live in like Sevierville, Tennessee, like far east Tennessee, right up against the mountains. A few miles from the old Dollywood.
Oh, very
Build
nice.
houses for a living. Bunch of them.
Nice. And how far are you from Bristol?
About an hour and a half. I've been to like
Uh,
every Bristol race since probably 2015.
Well, you're definitely lucky because I would say as a spectator, that's one of the better tracks to go see. And if you're a NASCAR fan and haven't seen Bristol under the lights, it's definitely a bucket list item. When you agree?
Makes it even better that Kyle Busch is just one of the best there. So
I
I've
can't
seen him
tell
win there
who you're a
many
fan of at
times.
all.
Yeah, many times.
Nice. Well, thank you. That was really interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Two opposite ends of the Northeast, I guess, but
Yeah.
thank you. All
Gotcha.
right.
Yeah.
Inferno, you got another question for these guys?
Yeah. So each of you will kind of go in order. Sean for life. How long have you been racing?
Oh,
Especially like league racing, more importantly.
so league racing I've been doing. Oh, I'd say since NASCAR Heat 4. So I want to say about 4 or 5 years now. I've been league racing. Got into it really around when the pro league started. I wanted to get into it, and I missed out, but I met a bunch of great drivers and ended up starting off in the AKA Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, won championships over there, worked my way up to the Cup Series, and branched out into a whole bunch of different leagues, the Elite Motorsports Association, a lot of leagues that have since folded, but I've had a lot of great league owners, a lot of great competitors, that have helped make me better throughout these last 4 or 5 years, and met a lot of great people too. So it's been a lot of fun. But racing in general, I've been racing since I was 10 years old. I remember as a kid, I asked my grandfather asked me, he says, Sean, what would you want for your 10th birthday? And we lived with my grandfather at the time. And I said, Grandpa, I really want an Xbox. And my mother overheard, and she says to him, don't you dare get him that thing. And my birthday's in July, so it was summer vacation. He comes home from going to the grocery store, going to Walmart, and I could see over the top railing. He comes home with an Xbox and
Uh-oh.
the NASCAR game, and he looks up at me like we locked eyes, and he looks up at me and he says, "Shh, don't tell your mother." But of course, she found out because she had to set it up for me.
Oh
And I
no.
That's a good
so
story.
so I've just been hooked ever since. So it was it I've been racing for 15 years now. So
So let me
and
ask
it's
you
all
this,
yeah.
you've been racing for a while and you felt like when you first started out, you just missed the NASCAR Heat Pro League. So, what does it mean to you and how does it feel that you're now one of the top 16 drivers on the game?
Oh my gosh, it's an incredible feeling. I wouldn't have tried out for it if I didn't think I couldn't do it. Everybody's competitive. You have to be in order to get to this level. Uh, spent spent a lot of hours back then when it was up, and and I knew that I wasn't going to get another chance for a little bit if I didn't try out. So I figured, it was now or never to try out for it. And I was appreciative of Rowdy to select me at number 2 overall. It's just been a lot of fun and great to get back out there and racing again. So it's been fun.
Nice. Glad to hear it. And what about you, Rowdy? How long have you been racing?
Man, league, like competitively, maybe coming up on 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought a wheel. I mean, I've always played racing games my whole life, like racing games, Madden and Call of Duty. That's about it. And I bought a wheel finally, and built my little setup. And I got to where I was racing with the same few guys every night. And I said, you know what, we need to make our own league. So we've had it's grown a lot. We started out, it was Madhouse. It was just a truck series we ran. And now we have like 4 different series across like 3 different games. We got a lot.
Wow.
But
yeah,
you reached
that's
out
awesome.
and wanted me to run this, and I'm excited about it. There's a lot of really good guys that we're racing up against.
Yeah, I know you were definitely one of the standouts when it comes to, just talking to people around the community. When you start mentioning Pro League and Best of the Best, your name came up quite a
Which
bit,
was
as
which
well
is
as your
cool, my
your
name being
teammate.
out there like that.
Yeah,
I
you'd be
wouldn't have thought
surprised.
that.
I mean, fast drivers are can't really hide in this community. I will say
Yeah,
that people tend to notice. So, well, I'm glad to hear it, and that's pretty impressive that only after a handful of competitive years of racing that you've kind of risen to that level. So,
I
very
mean, it's
nice.
fun. I really enjoy the game.
Absolutely, and it's always more enjoyable when you're pretty good at it, doesn't
Yeah, for sure, it helps.
it? All right. Now back to me, I guess. So now we're gonna talk about some tracks. So I'll come back to you, Rowdy. We'll go the other way around. So
Sure.
when it comes down to tracks, and this could be tracks on our schedule or not, what are some of your favorite tracks or best tracks, and what are some of your least?
Sean or Rowdy?
Uh, Rowdy.
I mean, Bristol's probably one of my favorites. And then
Oh, I could
Iowa's
have
right
guessed
there
that
with
one.
it. Iowa's right there with it. I'm a short track racer at heart, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but pretty good at all of them.
Okay. So
Kind of get
Bristol and
over
Iowa.
plate tracks.
Nice.
Just because you can do so well the whole race and lose it all in 3 and 4
Oh yeah, yeah. You have
every
to
time.
be
It happens to
you
me
have to be
every time.
perfect. Mm-hmm. That's I guess the art or luck or skill, however you want to
Yeah,
paint it.
it's
It's
the luck all race and then none at the end.
exciting. Definitely.
But I typically tend to run good everywhere.
Well, I mean, to be honest, you wouldn't be here if you didn't, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's one of those hard things when you get to that level where you're competitive most places. You really have to think about it. Which ones are the
Yeah, I really
ones that
like
you?
Kansas too. Kansas is fun, right up against the wall.
Oh yeah, that's always
It's probably
a
my
good
top
one.
3.
All right. What about tracks that maybe you don't look forward to as much, or you felt like you struggled and had to work more at?
Definitely road courses.
That'll
Like
that'll get
any of
you.
these other tracks, I feel like I can just hop on right before the league race and go run good at. Road
Hmm.
courses, I feel like I need to get a good half-hour practice in before a race.
Yeah, you definitely got to warm up. Remember your breaking points,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's
I
definitely
actually
one
have
of
one at
those.
Sonoma tonight, so
Uh-oh, that's a tricky one. Is there a
it's a tough one.
particular road course that you found is most difficult for you, or took you the longest to get a handle on?
Probably Sonoma.
Yeah, that's a challenging one for a lot of people,
Yeah, I mean all
especially
the
getting
ups and
into the
downs and
the carousel Yeah. No,
Tough one.
that'll get you. I know
Your buddy
a lot
Jethro
of
loves it though.
oh really?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people complain about like Mid Ohio and
I
the
love that track.
Robles.
I love
Those are
the Indy's kind of it's a tough one on this game. You know, you can put you can touch a blade of grass that's hanging over the track and it's going to give you a penalty.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, that's a tough one, and I feel like Charlotte Roval's tough also because if you make one little mistake and get out of your line, you're hitting a wall or something. So it's really
Yeah,
a track you got to pay attention and not make mistakes on. So
Watkins Glen and Roval are probably my two favorite road courses.
there you go. Yeah, Watkins Glen I know is a big favorite, and yeah, Roval's mixed, but yeah,
It's a tough one, yeah.
yeah, for sure. I know I personally struggle there, so that's always one I'm looking to avoid if I
Good in
can.
like
But
every turn, but the chicane right coming out on the front stretch.
oh yeah, that's a tough one. That
Yeah,
gets me
that's
a lot for
every
sure.
time.
All right, Sean, what about you?
So,
I mean, you're Connecticut, so I assume New Hampshire's up there.
you know what? So I remember as a kid, Joey Logano was quoted after he won New Hampshire. He's like, "I hate this place." I'm right up there with him. I'm not a big fan of New Hampshire. Honestly, my favorite tracks, you might think I'm a little psychotic, but I love Darlington. That's probably one of my favorite
Ooh,
racetracks on
that's a
this
good
game.
one.
It's a good one.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, so I love
It's a tough
Darlington,
one.
and I'm kind of the opposite of Rowdy. I love all the road courses. Indy Roval has a special place in my heart because I made the that summer pro league that they did. There I
Oh, the Summer
qualified for
Showdown?
the summer showdown, so I made my first start in the summer showdown there. So that track has a special place in my heart. I spent a lot of time there, so that's one of them. And then I agree with Rowdy. Kansas, I love running up against the wall there at Kansas. So I would say those are probably my
Tough
top
place
three
to
favorite.
pass.
Yes, it is. It is. But I love the challenge of trying to run up close to the wall, trying to get momentum
Yeah.
off the corners, trying to time your passes with the draft, and going low and slide jobs, and trying to pass people. I love the challenge of it. But those would be my three favorites. For tracks I don't like, slide. I know we kind of talked about this on Sunday. Um, Phoenix definitely one that I
Oh
am not a
yeah.
fan of. Yeah,
It'll
I
bite
hate
you.
Phoenix with a burning passion.
I love
Um,
Phoenix.
and then the plate track, it's just a crapshoot, And like Rowdy was saying, you could you could be leading, you could be in the middle of the pack. It don't matter. We were up in the top two, I think, in the opening race, and we ended up
Oh,
finishing like sixth and seventh or
one
seventh and
person
eighth or whatever,
smacked the wall and it's over.
and it killed both of us. So it's just a crapshoot with those. And when you're fast, I don't know if Rowdy's experienced this or if you guys have experienced it, but when you're fast and people know you're fast and they have a chance to beat you, they really don't want to work with you at those tracks. So
Yeah,
it's one
that's
of those
true.
where you don't typically get a lot of helpers at.
Especially in
Um,
this league, it was
right,
tough to find any help
right,
whatsoever other than
exactly.
maybe your teammate. Yeah.
Right, trying to find somebody you can trust.
Hmm.
It's tough with those tracks. I would say Talladega, Daytona, and Phoenix are my least favorite tracks.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
those are some good
to
ones.
to build off of what you just said, right? So how you guys were talking, one of you hates road courses, the other one loves them.
Well,
Let's
that
get
just
into
means
your
one of
team
us can
chemistry,
carry
right?
each other
Right.
when we go to those
So,
places.
has there been any team building going on? Have you guys been practicing
I think so.
together, conversing, and
Yeah,
see if it will help y'all in the long run?
A little bit here and there, yeah.
yeah, we try to practice as much as possible. I think we both have conflicting work schedules and league schedules and whatnot. So we try to work together as much as we can. I think we always try to inquire, with each other, about setups and kind of thinking, oh, what are you doing here? Like at Bristol, I think Bristol Dirt, I was running a 3. I think he was running like a 1 or a 2, or that seemed to work. So going over just notes and comparing things, I think it's really good to have a teammate like Rowdy to lean on and to go with his input. And he had raced there earlier in the week. I think he had a league race there, so it was good to lean on him and
I
things like
thought I was
that
going to
too.
be pretty fast for Bristol, and I just ran sixth the whole time.
Hey,
Didn't go
that's better than
anywhere.
14th.
Well, I take that back. I take that back. I started like I think ninth or tenth, and then a few laps in, I got took three wide and bounced in the middle and crashed, and
I got
somehow
a
I
front
come
row
out of the
seat to that one.
pits. Yeah, I come out of the pits. I think I was like seventh or eighth, and I was able to get by a couple guys, and I just ran sixth. I couldn't. I would catch the two in front of me, and then I would hit the wall or hit the apron or something, and then allow Dude Chef to catch up to me, and then I would have to pull back away from him. It
Yeah,
was
it
a
was
tough
a it
race,
was a tough race for
for
a
sure. It
lot of
was.
people. Even I think on the other end, and we'll get to that in a minute. The other question that we like to ask is, did you guys know each other before? Because we've had a lot of discussion about teammates and guys working with new people that
Not at
maybe
all.
they haven't really raced with that much or don't know. And so we're always curious, did you guys know each other and how is the chemistry building between you guys as we get through the season?
I mean, I'd
Uh,
never met him before or raced with him, I don't think. Maybe in
oh,
a public lobby here or there.
oh, you don't remember? So, I remember I knew of Rowdy before that. Actually, I think one of the first times I raced with him, I don't even know if you remember this, Rowdy. We were racing SRX one of the times the heat servers went down,
Holy
and
shit!
and
I do remember.
you gave
I
me my
I
only two
thought your
losses
name.
on that game. So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
welcome.
yeah. So
Yeah, that was another game. I just hopped right on, man, and I had a bunch of
yeah,
my guys from my league come over, and we were all racing, and I would just blow everybody out of the water.
yeah. So you were fast. There was one track, I forget which tracks they were, but there were, I think Slinger I beat you, and then there was a couple different tracks that you beat me at there.
We had a fun
So
couple weeks on that game for sure.
yeah, yeah, no, it's a fun game.
Yeah, that was
It's a
I've
fun
always
game.
enjoyed that myself. I
But we kind of knew of
definitely
each
a change
other,
of pace.
Yeah,
but
Okay.
maybe a
I
little bit.
just
But
completely forgot about it. That's wild.
I don't think
Well,
we raced in like Heat 5 that much. But I guess kind of knew of each other maybe, but didn't
Well, I,
really
I
race that
remember
much.
seeing your name now on, like
Yeah,
I can see it in the SRX game.
yeah,
I'm
That
glad
was
that
we
the
would
the
get like
league
10
has
or
kind of
14
brought you
guys on there.
guys together, and now I'm sure you guys are getting to know each other much better now, and uh, hope that continues. So
I think we're going
that's
to be one of
great.
the top teams for sure.
Well, I'm glad you said that because the segment we wanted to go over was the points and power rankings. So those just came out after Saturday, and we'll start with you, Sean. So you were, I think, ranked fourth last week, and now have worked your way with the win up to third. And your teammate Rowdy has now eked into the top eight, and you guys are doing pretty decent in the team points as well, sitting in second with 23 points back from Trackhouse. And as far as the standings go, Sean, you're sitting in second with Rowdy, kind of mid pack. So, are you happy with the performance so far? And what do you think you need to improve on the most?
Uh, well, I guess for me, I mean, unless you're winning, you should never be happy, right? It doesn't matter if you're selling cars or if you're racing cars. Everybody wants to be the best, and I think that should speak for everybody. That's why we're all here. So always room for improvement, even if you've been racing for 4 or 5 years. So always trying to do better. I've been racing, but I'm kind of new to these presets, so just learning them and trying to learn on the fly. Has been a challenge, but a challenge that I enjoy. And yeah, as far as the power rankings and the team standings, I think Rowdy and I both know that we can contend. I know Rowdy was at Talladega a couple weeks ago there, so if he was there for the race, I think we're right up there with Trackhouse, and
Oh, for
we
sure.
have the speed to definitely compete and catch up. I mean, 23 points is nothing. Line Coney's he's quick. He's been lucky. These first few races, and they're a great team. They do a lot of things well. Tire management. They put themselves in positions to win every week. They're no slouches for sure. So we got to step up our game and try to be better and be up there with them each and every week.
Absolutely,
But
Wow.
that's well said.
Wow. Real quick, I want to point out Sean for life saying that line cone is lucky.
Typical commentator. He's trying to start drama already. Here we go.
Drama is gonna be started.
Well, Rowdy, let me ask you. So, um, you're obviously, I mean, with the one miss race, obviously it's going to set you back a little bit. But in general, you've kind of fallen a little bit behind your teammate. Going forward, do you think you're going to be leaning on him a little bit more? Or, what do you think you need to do differently
Yeah, I mean,
yourself
I
to
think it'll
match?
depend on the track, I guess. Like, I feel like I've got a pretty good stretch coming up the next few tracks, so
Which
Yeah,
tracks
that
are
definitely
we'll
those?
helps.
just keep doing what we're doing, and
Which tracks are those, Rowdy, that you're looking forward to?
Loudon for sure, pretty good there. And then I'm gonna look at the schedule.
Yeah, we've got an interesting stretch coming up with
Yeah,
as you said, Loudon next. I know we've got Homestead, Martinsville, Kansas, a couple more in the mix
yeah. I
there.
mean,
So,
I run pretty strong at all those. So
it sounds like you might have a better end of the regular season than
oh,
most. So,
definitely better than the start.
yeah, a
You
couple
throw
people have had some rough
Daytona
starts
in
for
there,
sure.
and then missing for Talladega. I really wish I could have been there for Charlotte. I like that race.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think a lot of people enjoyed that race, and it was highly competitive. So let me ask you this also, Rowdy. Your teammate mentioned Team Trackhouse has been the guys you've been chasing right now, and in the team points, you're right there with them. Would you consider them, your biggest rivals at this point, or is there any other teams out there that caught your eye, or are you
I
more
wouldn't
just
say
focused on
rivals, maybe
yourself?
adversaries.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones we're chasing, right? So
Yeah,
we've kind of put
absolutely.
ourselves behind a little bit. Maybe not of our doing, but
Well,
I think
there's
we'll catch up
plenty
to them.
plenty of time to
A
make
lot
it
of
up. We've
races.
got
Yeah.
7 races left in the regular season and another 5 in the playoffs after the reset. So that's uh that's definitely a good idea to stay focused
long
and
way to go,
oh
but it
yeah.
gives us
Yeah.
something to chase. So
What has y'all's impression of the first 3 races been in this league, the inaugural season?
Super competitive. Everybody's fast.
And 3 different tracks, right? Like we went to Daytona, which was a super speedway, then a mile and a half at Charlotte, and then down to a short track dirt race at Bristol Dirt. So it's been a variety, right, Sean? Where
oh, for sure,
different
for sure.
skills at each one, right?
And how many
Absolutely. Before I
manuals
answer
have
this
been thrown? Maybe
question,
two, three?
I was looking at the chat here. Crew Cab, love you too, buddy. But yeah, I think the races have been great. Like Rowdy was saying, super competitive. There's really no margin for error, is what I've noticed. Like at at Charlotte, like you'd work your way up, and then you make one mistake, you go all the way back to the pack because it was pretty much a train. Whenever you were whenever you were racing, it was always a pack of like 6 to 8 cars. So you'd work your way up to second, and then get all bumped all the way to the back, and then you go to the front all the way back again. So it was just a roller coaster all night for me. It was frustrating. I know some tempers flared there, but that was really competitive. Daytona's a crapshoot. That's always competitive. And then Bristol Dirt, man, that was a lot of fun, man. I enjoy the dirt racing. I enjoy the challenge of it. But yeah, 3 different tracks. Now we go to New Hampshire next week. Another short track, and then we got a road course after that. So really getting a great variety with the Pro Series.
Yeah, and that was definitely the intention. We wanted to create an environment to show off all types of skills and see who had them all. And going back to Bristol Dirt, we got to talk about it. I mean, you got your first win in the Pro Series this week, and I know we heard some very much excitement in the Discord at the end of the race and in the interview. But looking back at it a couple days removed, what kind of feelings do you have about it, and what do you take away from that race that can help you the rest of the season?
No, of course, anytime you win a race against a field like this, it gives you confidence, right? Because, I mean, you struggle the first couple of races, and for me, I've cut back on my league racing, and I hadn't won a race in almost a month, and it's like, can I still do this? Can I still compete at this level? So it gives you, it gave me some confidence that I think I've always had confidence, but it just gave me a little bit of a boost, um, that I hope will help with the remainder of the season. It's like, all right, I can figure out these presets. I can do this. We're fine. Don't panic. That was the big thing I was preaching to myself the whole time when I fell back to fifth or sixth on the restart with like 50 to go. It's like, okay, don't panic. Just pass them one by one, click them off, and just do what you do best. So,
Yeah,
obviously, it's nice to enjoy a victory, but we have a saying up here in New England: "Do your job." And
Oh my
there was a saying, "We're on to
goodness.
Cincinnati, but we're on to New
Oh
Hampshire
my
now." So
goodness here.
we got to, we got to turn the page real quick. Two totally different racetracks. A lot of preparation. There's no slouches, so we got to move on. Um, take
I
that
like that.
excitement and
Yeah,
push forward and take that momentum into the next weeks going forward.
Well, Sean,
I like
I
that you
just want to
said
point
that.
out
Oh, good.
we have a saying here in Philly, and it's
Oh no.
41 to 33.
It ain't six rings. It ain't six rings. You
Oh
can say whatever
boy.
you want. It ain't six rings. Brady got six of them and he beat you once. But anyway, that's another story. We could go on a whole different
I
rant
don't know
about
about
that.
Anyway, we
But
leaving
only got
us.
about
Yeah,
6 minutes,
let's
but
go.
yeah,
Let's
I,
go.
I I do like the fact that you pointed out, it's really great to celebrate, and you should. Winning at this level is a really good achievement. And but you can't, stay too focused on that. You got to move on to the next week and keep going, because there's a bigger prize at the end of the tunnel, and that's the championship. So every
100%.
race is gonna matter.
There's 15 other guys in this that know you won last week and they all want to beat you. So
Yeah,
you
you're gonna
can't
be the
hang on
guy
and
with the
dwell.
target on your back this week,
Right. You
for
can't dwell
sure.
on it too long. So
Now,
and the
Rowdy.
two other. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, good. Good.
No. I was just gonna say the two other guys that have won already. They want to be the guy that is the first to a multi-win season. So everybody, it's a target on your back for sure.
Yeah, and it's gonna be hard too. I mean, we've seen already three different races, three different winners. I mean, the odds are in the favor that this week's gonna be a fourth winner. So you never know, but it's gonna be tough to get that second one. But yeah, I want to move back to Rowdy for a second. So, Rowdy, I know you're still chasing your first win. If you look at the rest of the season, including the playoffs, and you had to like circle one race that you would say that's the race I'm gonna win this season, which one would it be?
Uh, Probably either Loudon or Dover, probably.
All right, well that sounds like it's coming soon then.
I hope
I
so.
like to hear that. Yeah, Loudon up next, and I believe Dover is either the race after that or the following. So yeah, it's good, some good tracks coming up for you.
If Phoenix would have been on the schedule, I probably would have had that one circled for
Oh, it
sure.
is. It's the last one.
Oh, it is, ain't it?
It's the
Is
playoff
it
finale.
Rowdy? Is
I
that
see
you
that.
saying you're going to win the
Yeah,
championship?
yeah, I like Phoenix, buddy.
Well, what I like about this season too is that it's not even just going to take that last race. I mean, it's going to be 5 races to decide the championship. So you can't have a bad race at all in the playoffs if you want to take it. So we've got a couple more minutes left. So let me ask one more question here. So Sean, let's talk about the playoffs. I know it's a little way off, but
Hmm.
if you were to pick a track of emphasis in the playoffs that you really maybe it's your least favorite or least good at track, and you know that that's going to be the one that's going to make or break the championship for you. Which one is that? And also, which one you think that you're best at and you're going to need to capitalize if you're going to take it?
Well, for me, obviously the most difficult one. We kind of talked about it earlier. Phoenix has always been like my kryptonite, but the good news is we've got what's it, 4 or 5 races before then, and 2 of my
Or
favorite tracks, which I mentioned as my favorites, are on there. You got Darlington and you got the Charlotte Roval. In Bristol, even I won there once this past week. In Vegas, I love Vegas too. So 4 of my favorite tracks, and then my kryptonite. So if I can capitalize, if I can, if I can capitalize there, at those 4 and put myself in a good spot. Maybe I don't need to win Phoenix with the point
Maybe I
system,
can
but
help you with Phoenix.
yeah, and that's
yeah,
where having
leaning
a
on
good
your
teammate
teammate.
like
Yeah.
Rowdy, and we can rely on each other. He says he's not a fan of road courses. So this is where having a teammate and leaning on each other is going to be really important in this championship fight. Not just for the driver standings, but for the team standings too. So, but yeah, those I would say Phoenix is a track that doesn't worry me, but it's definitely been a challenge. But Darlington and the Charlotte Roval, I am very much looking forward to, and I appreciate you guys putting it in the playoffs for me.
Yeah, we definitely did that. No problem. No problem for you. All right, we got time for one last question. This is actually my favorite question of the day. Let me ask Rowdy. So, Rowdy, a lot of people ask when it comes down to teammates, would you move a teammate for a win? Or separate question, would you move a teammate for a championship?
Definitely. I mean, especially if you can race yourself up there and even get to where you have a shot, I feel like that's something you have to take as a racer, right?
So either one, race or championship, you're gonna make the
Oh,
move.
hands down.
Nice. What about, let's ask real quick, Sean, how do you feel about that? Your teammate, if he's sitting behind you, second place at the end of one of these things, he'd move you. Would you do the same?
Oh, 100
I'd be
percent.
mad if you didn't. I'd be
Right,
mad if you didn't.
100%. We both want to win, but if we're both in a position to win a championship, I think that just speaks to the testament of drivers that we are. We got a long way to go though before we get to a championship. You know, so week by week, we right now we're helping each other, but 10 laps to go, man. If we're 1-2, all the gloves are off, brother. I love you, but the
Right there
gloves are
with you.
off. So,
Nice.
as long as we finish the race 1-2, I don't care
Yeah.
who
I'm
wins.
all about the clean move, you know what I mean?
Right. Race
You can
hard,
rub
but
a little
don't
bit
wreck
and
each
send me up
other.
the track. Don't wreck me.
Right, exactly. So,
Then I'm gonna be a little
that's
mad at you.
right, as you should. Uh,
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys,
Hey
and
man, enjoyed
thank
it.
you for coming out and answering our questions and letting everybody get to know you. And we want to wish you good luck this season, good luck this weekend, and the rest of the season, and go bring home a championship for Team Penske.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right.
All right,
Yep.
that
Yes,
Thank you,
sir. See
concludes
y'all
guys.
our
later.
broadcast. This is Inferno Speed and Mr. Slyjob signing off. Have a good night.
Yep.
See
And we will
y'all at
see you
7:30 on Saturday.
at Loudon.
Yep, Loudon.